Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 businesses to own and guide in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I get this question a lot. Mr. Boss, what business should I buy? I have limited funds, or I want to work a certain way, or I want to do things this way or that way. So I'm going to be doing this video today, and we're going to be going from the best business to own to the worst. There's 5 main ones you can have in-game. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons of each, and giving you an overall idea of which one might be the best for you. Now, in this video, we're only going to be talking about the businesses that were added in each update. The businesses could have come alongside other pretty cool vehicles or features, but we're strictly going to be looking at the business part of this. So the first thing and the best business you can own is the import-export business. So this update expands on further adventures in finance and felony by allowing CEO organizations to steal and export high-end vehicles from other rival challengers across Los Santos and Blaine County. So in order to get started with the import-export stuff, you need a CEO office, and you also need a vehicle warehouse. So those are 2 big items that you need to purchase before you can ultimately start this. But once you've done that, you're pretty much good to go. Your vehicle warehouse can store up to 40 vehicles, and essentially what you're doing is you're taking a car, you're storing it, and then you're selling it. That's pretty much as simple as it gets. There's 3 types of cars: standard, mid-range, and top range, each with a different price value. Now, you can sell the cars individually, or you can sell them as a part of sets and get an added bonus. And of course, the more top range cars you sell, the more money you're going to make. However, if you sell all standard range vehicles, you're going to make less money. Now, there are no upgrades to the vehicle warehouses. All of them can store 40 cars. There's no security upgrades or anything like that, which means your warehouse can't be raided. And then once you do go to sell, you can either do a private buyer, showroom, or specialist dealer. Private being the low risk, low reward, the showroom being medium risk, medium reward, and the specialist dealer being high risk, high reward, which is the one that I typically do. Now, when it comes terms to selling, all you have to do is modify the car. You can change it up in whatever way, shape, and form you want. And then it's pretty easy. All you have to do is deliver the vehicle from point A to point B with as little damage done to the car as possible. Damage is sort of the thing that Rockstar does to kind of keep you in checks, sort of a system of checks and balances. So if you keep the car with minimal damage, the more money you'll make. And that system applies on the delivery and the sourcing of the vehicle too. So the reason this is the best business, in my opinion, is for a couple things. Number one, the ease. Most of the missions are not very complicated, not very difficult. It's go from point A to point B, grab the vehicle, and bring it back to point A. Pretty simple. And same with the sell missions. You just drive the car from point A to point B. And number two, the payouts are generally pretty great for the amount of work that you can do. And even though there is a cooldown period afterwards, it's not all that bad. So import-export is most definitely the best business option you can do in online as far as a hands-on approach goes. It's super awesome, and it's probably my favorite, and it's the most lucrative business as well. Moving on, at the number 2 spot, we have the biker business. So the biker business is kind of different from all the other ones because it was the first to offer sort of a hands-off approach. So players have the ability to run their own motorcycle club, and they can purchase new business properties to sell product and make a profit. It's similar to the special cargo network from Finance and Felony. However, it's a little bit different because it's more hands-off. It includes buying various types of business like a forgery, a weed farm, counterfeit cash factory, methamphetamine labs, and a cocaine lockup. And in that, you essentially can either steal supplies or buy supplies, and then you just have to wait for your workers to build it up. It's pretty simple. Then once you have a full supply of said item, you then sell it. It's pretty simple. Now, there are a couple differences between this and import-export. Number one is the different types of items that you'll be selling. They have different values and different amounts. To keep a long story short, the 2 or 3 that you want to focus on are counterfeit cash, methamphetamines, and cocaine. Those 3 are the best. You don't really need to worry about the forgery or the weed farm. As cool as they are, you really don't need to worry about them. Now, your biker businesses can be raided, so that's why it's important to do the security, staff upgrades. Those are some of the things that the import-export businesses don't have that these do. So overall, this is probably the best hands-off approach. Why the biker business is so great is because if you want to, you can just steal supplies, wait for your workers to create the product, and then sell it. So it doesn't require a whole lot of work from you other than the selling objective, which is not all that difficult. It's very similar. It's just typically done in a team of 4 or 5 or 6 people. You bring the product from point A to point B, and that is it. So in my opinion, the biker business is the best hands-off business that you can own in the game, but there is another one, and that is at the number 3 spot today, and that is the bunker stuff. So the bunker stuff that was added in gun running is very similar to the biker business added in bikers. So where it's similar is that it's another hands-off business where you either have the option to steal the supplies or source them, and then once you have a certain amount, you can choose to sell them. And there's also a lot of other similarities as well. Your business can be raided and your stock can be taken away from you. However, the one particular reason why I think the biker business is a little bit better than the bunker business is for a couple things. Number one, the bunker business, in my opinion, is a little boring because it's all the same thing. It's just guns. There's no difference. The cocaine, the methamphetamine, the counterfeit cash, the weed, the forgeries, they all have their own different spin and taste, which I think is a little bit more creative, a little bit cooler. And with the biker stuff, you can have multiple businesses running at the same time. You can have a weed farm, you could have a cocaine lockup, which can be earning you more money. Whereas the bunker is kind of a one thing. You have all your eggs in one basket, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. And number 2, the sourcing and selling missions for the bunker stuff is a lot more difficult than the biker stuff. Some of the missions have you driving dune buggies up on mountains. You never see any of that with the biker stuff. So that's why it's, on my opinion, a little bit less lucrative than the biker stuff. And it's a little bit more expensive as well to tap into it. Owning a bunker is more expensive than an MC clubhouse and the businesses that you'll ultimately need. So as far as pricing goes, it's also more expensive as well. Now let's move on to the 4th business, and that is the CEO organization. So this was added with Finance and Felony, and it gave our players the ability to become the CEO of a criminal organization and hire associates to buy and sell cargo through the Special Cargo Network. So this is the one that got us all started. And the reason this is 4th on the list today and not higher up, it's actually not a bad way to make money. The money with Finance and Felony is great. It's just monotonous and it takes a long time. So this requires a CEO office, and it also requires a warehouse to store the cargo. Now, the warehouses can be small, medium, or large. The large obviously giving you the most space. It just takes a long time to fill that up because you can only source 3 cargoes at a time, and there is a little bit of a cooldown period after each cargo. And the reason I said it's monotonous is literally all the missions are the same. And you honestly have to force yourself to want to do those sort of missions over and over and over again. But the caveat at the end of the day, the payout is quite nice. I think you can make over $2.2 million for a large warehouse. Now, that doesn't include the price of actually buying the cargo. So I think your grand total is around $1.6, $1.5 million for ending up selling a large one of those. I will say this business is pretty great if you're first getting into this sort of stuff because it'll force you to buy a CEO office, which you of course need for import-export, and it also give you a taste of sort of how these missions work. Whereas with the biker stuff, import-export stuff, you get into a little bit more of the complex ones. So I would say the CEO, Finance, and Felony stuff is a great starter business, but it does get boring after a while, and even though the payout is nice, it doesn't compare to that of bikers or import-export. All right, and the last business we're going to be looking at today is the aircraft hangar smuggling business that came out with Smuggler's Run, the latest DLC in online. So this, in my opinion, is the worst business you can have in online. Now, actually getting this business started is not all that bad. The only thing you need is an aircraft hangar, and that's not terribly expensive when you compare it to some of the other buildings and businesses that you need. Owning an aircraft hangar, not all that terrible. However, the business is not all that great. So essentially, you can collect 8 different items: narcotics, chemicals, medical supplies, animal materials, arts and antiques, jewelry and gemstones, tobacco and alcohol, and counterfeit goods. The only problem with that is you collect 3 at a time, and you can only have a maximum of 50. This is incredibly slow, and each one of those items is only worth $10,000. So if you think about it, the maximum you can make without any bonuses is $500,000. And The missions to not only source the items but sell them are incredibly difficult. So, do they involve some pretty cool vehicles like the Skylift and, as we see them right now, some unreleased cars? Yeah, the missions are fun. They're just time consuming and difficult. And when it comes down to making money, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for getting the most amount of profit doing the least amount of work. And Smuggler's Run is the exact opposite. It's the most amount of work, even though it might be fun, and you're getting the least amount of profit here. So the Smuggler's Run business is probably the only one that I would say you should probably avoid in online. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for you to invest in this because there's really no upside unless you're just looking to do them for fun. But I'm sure most of you guys are watching this video trying to figure out what would be the best business for you, and you're not necessarily looking for, well, this will give me the most fun missions to do. So bottom line, I would avoid the Smuggler's Run stuff. I do not think it's great, and I don't think that it's worthwhile for you to invest in as far as making money goes in Grand Theft Auto Online. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today. Those are the top 5 businesses that you can own in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know which one you think is the best in the comment section down below. You know what my answer is by watching this video, but I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.